Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying behind. Before we start, a round of applause for the new unified World 140 champion. Fantastic performance on a great night of boxing and one of the best female fights I think I've ever seen. Tremendous. Big respect for both, and over to you guys for questions for the champion.
Chantelle, what was it? Sorry, what you did?
Oh, go on, you're right.
I was about to say, what was it like leading up to this fight? McGee came across as probably a really good contender. So when you went in there against her, she didn't seem to have many answers for what he was throwing at. What was that like compared to obviously the lead up and how it was like, yeah, she's going to come with some kind of like force?
I knew she was powerful, and she was powerful. In the first shot she threw through, she made my eyes swell up. So I knew I had to be cautious, but sometimes I got a bit carried away. But yeah, I felt like if I did stick to what Jamie and I were saying a little bit more, just throwing 1-2, boxing a bit more, I could have made it an easier night, but I had fun in there. So.
Definitely
Chantelle, first congratulations, really fantastic performance. It was quite engaging, the fight, and there was a lot of times where you guys caught up in the exchanges, and you seemed to be getting the better of those exchanges. What did you make of Mary's power in there?
She was very powerful. She's a bigger girl. I knew she was going to be powerful, but I know how tough I am, so I was kind of I was excited for it.
And also, obviously, there's a lot of belts on the line. It's the road to undisputed. How does it make you feel coming out of it? Obviously, to be a victor of this fight, knowing that you're in the run-up to getting all those belts.
It's not really set in yet that I've just won these 3 belts, so I think I'll wake up tomorrow and it will hit me. But it's so exciting, and thanks to Eddie and putting this tournament on. It's great for women's boxing, and it's a dream come true to know that now I was 2 fights away from undisputed, and now I'm just one fight away. It's amazing.
Chantelle, I just wondered, congratulations first of all. I just wondered because Mary talked about ahead of the fight that you were going to run. We know you like to keep it nice and long. And there were moments in the fight where you kept it toe to toe. Was Jamie giving you a bit of a bollocking in the corner to start keeping it long? Because when you went back to the long range boxing, it was absolutely beautiful, and yeah, it was good to watch. Was he giving you a bollocking?
I feel like Jamie and I was going to have a heart attack at some point, so best listen to him. So yeah, it was fun.
And was you very surprised that you weren't able to take a round? Because I know you were looking for the KO.
Do you know what? I knew that I weren't going to stop it. I said, if the opportunity come, I'll go for it. But I said as well, it's going to be, if I was going to win, it's going to go by points. I knew she was tough, and then there she's a champion. She's not there just to turn up. She's there to win these belts just as much as me. So it's a champion mindset. You can't be stopping champions if they're that hungry.
Do you think she gets taken that stick out? Because I thought her clean and long.
She's tough. I respect her so much. That's the toughest fight I've ever had, and I knew it was going to be, but I didn't realise she'd be that tough.
Because that stick herself seems to sort of keep that on the idea of stopping her. Because it was in the sick, there were the big shanks and the roof and around. After that, it was just like, you seem to resign yourself to going business.
I've seen some opportunities. I thought about her here, but I won't go for the stoppage. It was a tough fight, and if the stoppage not there, it's not there.
A couple, Chantelle, just off the back of what my colleagues were saying there, we've seen you in your previous performances, you boxed very well, but in this fight, you chose to slug it out there. Did you want to, as the cliche kind of goes, sort of show that you've got a big dog in you as well, and can slug it out?
Yeah, my whole career I've never really had a tight sky. Most of my fights I've gone out there and I've kind of just bullied people around and done what I wanted, and I've always said to Jamie and Nige that I can't wait until I can bite down on my gum shield and actually have a tear up, and tonight I got that, and it's what I've been waiting for a long time.
Jamie, colleagues all mentioned about your kind of feelings in the corner there. Just off the back of the Blackburn performance last night, were you kind of worried as well if it was potentially kind of gone that way as well, considering what happened?
Well, I think that was probably on Chantelle's mind. I did remind her about that in the corner, saying, you know, even though you are coming out slightly on top in these exchanges, you don't need to be there. You know, you're winning it in, you know, dropping those singles or ones and twos, getting off that centre line. When she sort of held her feet, I understand sometimes she has to sort of dissuade her from constantly coming forward. But I wanted her to do it in smaller pockets. But listen, I can't complain. Honestly, I'm so proud of what she's done tonight, and she was dominant in a tough fight, and the scorecards don't really reflect how tough it was. But and you've got to take your hat off to Mary McGee, but she was unbelievable tonight.
Eddie, for me, you've got Reese and Jessica Mark coming up, but are you confident off the back performance, or even more confident that you've got the undisputed champion sitting next to you in the future? And when would you like the undisputed title fight to take place?
Yeah, I think she's was always the big favourite in the tournament, but I think Mary McGee, just checking Callie's not here, may have been the toughest of the other three competitors, although Reese is a hell of a fighter as well, and they're all really excited by this. And you see Mary, we just went into her change room a minute ago, she's absolutely devastated, because it's not just a chance to unify, but people like Mary McGee haven't really made the money that they deserve for their career, and obviously they did tonight. But also, if you get to the final, the money increases again, really, in many different ways for these fighters. And Callie's got the same thing on her mind. She's really been around for a long time, and she's not made that kind of money. So she's thinking, I want to unify, but if I can get into the final, it's almost like, secures my future in that respect. So I think Kamara could be a little bit of a dark horse. She's really fresh and fit and young and strong, but Reese is a good fighter. That takes place November the 19th. And then really, I think we look to make the fight, probably end of February, March, something like that for next year. Tonight, keeping the show on tonight was for a number of reasons. Obviously, make sure that the fighters fought and got paid and advanced their careers and stuff like that. But also, when the opportunity came around for this fight to headline, I think that it was a great opportunity for the tournament, for women's boxing, for Chantelle. And now people have seen that fight, her fan base is going to grow considerably. And then when we do the final, we can stage it back in the UK. And, it can headline its own card. So I think it was a massive night for Chantelle, massive night for women's boxing. And I do think she's a strong favourite to pick up, as we said, in the ring. I thought it was one more belt. No, it's two more belts. It's actually three. WBA, WBO and IBF. So hopefully at the end of Feb or March or whenever it is, she'll have all six lined up.
Chantelle, can you describe the emotions over the last week or so? It's the first, Vivian White's injured, he can't fight, you don't know if the show's going ahead. Then you find out it is, plus you're now the main event. How did your emotions change over that period?
It's been very up and down. I can remember Wednesday we was in the gym having a media day, and I was halfway through an interview and I got told about Dillian's injury. And I kind of was like, the show's going to be off, and I couldn't sleep that night. And literally I was thinking, the show's going to be off, they're not going to put anyone else on the headline. I didn't really feel like I was a big enough name to headline. And I woke up to Jamie text me saying headline. I was like, wow, Eddie's pulled that one out of the bag.
You didn't even message me actually. I was waiting, while we were just sort of deciding what to do. I kept looking at my Instagram, and I was waiting for one from you, going, "Oh, come on, please don't do that." But no, it all works out in the end.
You've got another cracking card with a big female fight on it. We just announced the Catterall fight on December 11th. How do you feel? Sort of women's boxing progressing?
Brilliant. I mean, look, we were the ones who started. It's been around for ages, but we were the ones that really aggressively pushed it on a commercial basis with a broadcaster, and now everyone's following suit, which is really encouraging. 2 weeks ago was it Sky headlined with Savannah Marshall. We headlined tonight with Chantelle. Next week we've got our fighter Maiva Hamadouchi against Michaela Myatt. That's on ESPN live headline. I mean, it's really, we're always playing catch up, and even financially we're not to the levels that we need to be. But I always say, when people talk about equality of pay, it doesn't mean if you become a world champion that you should make the same money as a male world champion if the commercial value of that fight is not the same. Equality is about, if two things are exactly the same, then the purses should be exactly the same. Do you know what I mean? If someone's selling out arenas, if someone's driving subscriptions and so is the female. You've got Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano, Touchwood, coming up. That is a fight that is going to be in the main room of Madison Square Garden. That's a 7-figure purse, for those fighters, and that's where we want to get to. If Chantelle wins this and Katie comes through that is another mega fight to be made for this country. That can sell out an arena here as well. And I think that it's in a great position. I really do. I think that also you're getting some good domestic rivalries, and you're starting to get weight classes now that are really sort of coming together. Super bantamweights, great examples. So I just think we just got to keep pushing it. But without the quality that you saw tonight, like if tonight was not good enough, or it wasn't a good fight, or it just allows people to go, oh, it's women's boxing, I'm not interested in that. But even people who aren't fans can't not watch that and go, fair play, that was unbelievable. So, and the girls are performing every time. I've not put on a bad World Championship female fight, really. I can remember a bad fight. You saw Eric Molina diving around, against Babbage, and then you got Mary McGee just showing unbelievable heart, and Chantelle, and that's great for women's boxing.
Chantelle, when we caught up with you in the gym, you sort of said about the Kate Taylor fight, you've been chasing her, and you fancied the Jessica McCaskill fight. Is that still on the card, do you think, or would you, if any could make it, would you like the Kate Taylor fight?
I need to win the final first, and then think about that next.
I would love to make that. I think that could be a mega fight. I've always said I think that's a really, really tough fight for both of them. But that they should get what they deserve for that fight. And when she wins the undisputed, and you've got Katie Taylor undisputed at 135, Chantelle Cameron undisputed at 140, you can't not make that fight. Honestly, that's when it becomes a massive fight. But how good is it to see? You've got 135 Katie Taylor. Hopefully, when this is all done, 140 Chantelle Cameron, 147. You've got Jessica McCaskill. 154, you've got Clarissa Shields. So you've got undisputed champions coming across. That's how it should be in every division. You should have one champion who owns all the belts. But they've got to fight each other. And that's what's so refreshing about female boxing.
What's the Ruth McCaskill? That's presumably one that Chantelle can have anyway.
Yeah, I mean, she's ready to fight. She's going to box in December. She's coming off 2 big wins against Brackhouse. But I don't really see Chantelle as a 147-pounder. But nor's Jessica, really. But I would rather make the Katie Taylor fight after the tournament than McCaskill, because I just think it's a bigger fight.
Congratulations, we're all delighted for you. Just a quick question this week, Boxing Twitter was alive with the presence of Liam Reports over here supporting you. I know that you guys have been friends for a long time, and I'm just wondering, what is it like to have someone, a friend who's absolutely on fight camp, that is able to share the experience and know what it's like to be in there to fight, both of you trying to achieve greatness within your both sports, MMA and boxing, and what is your perception of greatness?
It's great because obviously she's around all week, she's in Vegas with me, and she's a woman as well, and even though it's a different sport, but still in a combat sport, and it's just like an extra bit of a backbone. So it's unreal. I've got great friends that come out and support me, and even Savannah Marshall, like before our fight, she's going to come tonight, but always like going through tactics, reminding me of back in the day, and little stories and stuff, just giving me that boost. So it's great. Got great support.
And what is your definition of greatness?
Winning everything.
That's one last one. How has sparring with likes of Jack Catterall helped you prepare for this fight and beyond?
Really good, because Jack's so heavy-handed rather than trying to be. So I was having a spar in the gym once, and he caught me with a left hook to my temple, and I thought, yeah, we can whack. And he weren't even like trying, and Jane was telling him to like rough me up a bit, like hustle me, just so that like tonight I'm strong inside. I've been working a lot with Kelly K's on my strength this camp as well, so making sure that I was strong.
Thinking about it now, that sparring with Jack, it's a good job we did that. I really had him pressuring about throwing around, physically throwing around, so I forgot about that.
Like a ragdoll.
Yeah.